Now that you've written down your answers, I want to note that there was no correct answer to these questions, not in the conventional sense. But whether you believe in modern heroism or not, whether or not you want to be a hero, the bottom line is that your life makes a difference every single day. Each action you take on a daily basis influences the experiences of others around you, and in so doing, proves that no one lives an insignificant life. This is to say that all persons have the potential to be heroes. But I suppose that all this defining and philosophizing is for naught, unless, of course, heroes have a purpose. Perhaps one of their most noble purposes is providing us with models for good behavior and higher ideals. And it may surprise you to know that most people we consider to be heroes had heroes of their own. George Washington modeled himself after the Roman Cincinnatus. Artists, musicians, authors, and even academics model themselves after those who came before them. Alfred North Whitehead once quipped, "The safest general characterization of the European philosophical tradition is that it consists of a series of footnotes to Plato." In other words, Plato was either the hero, in the cases of imitation, or the villain, in the cases of divergence, of the many philosophers throughout Western history. An often overlooked aspect of heroes and the behaviors and ideals they hold us to is that these behaviors and ideals must be continually consecrated, or they will dry up. This is why birthdays, feast days, celebrations of achievement all serve to remind us of all that we and others have sacrificed in the service of success. Perhaps it is cynical to say, but heroic actions and behaviors must be celebrated, or their frequency will fall off at a startling rate. Take an example from college. Graduation parties celebrate your success in college, but they also provide you an opportunity to thank your parents, scholarship providers, teachers, etc. In other words, they provide a forum to celebrate all the heroism that was invested in your education by you and those who supported you. I want to close this lecture by returning to an author whose writings we've explored a number of times before, C.S. Lewis. In his profound and troubling book on education, language, and moral values, The Abolition of Man, Lewis writes the following: "In a sort of ghastly simplicity, we remove the organ and demand the function. We make men without chests and expect of them virtue and enterprise. We laugh at honor and are shocked to find traitors in our midst. We castrate and bid the geldings be fruitful." What does Lewis mean by such a passage? He means, quite simply, that if we do not raise our children to be heroic, we cannot be surprised if they turn out to be cowardly and weak. Lewis, following Plato, saw the importance of outlining reason and spirit against our base desires. His reference to men without chests is not about genetically modified humans without physical chests, but people uneducated in virtue. But the last line is perhaps the most important. We castrate and bid the geldings be fruitful. A gelding is a castrated animal, which, obviously, is incapable of reproduction. Lewis's point is that a society raised on the belief that there is no such thing as virtue, no true heroes, will not develop heroes, no matter how much that society calls for them. Earlier, I posed two questions. Are there heroes in modern society? And do you want to be a hero? I said earlier there were no correct answers, but I hope you now see that all answers will still be consequential answers. I mean that your answer to these questions matters. After all, if you don't believe that heroes exist in modern society, why would you ever try to be one? So to wrap up this lesson and the lectures in general, nobody lives an insignificant life, no matter how small and insignificant it feels sometimes. Every lesson in this course has been a stream that feeds into the river of your life. They have, I hope, helped your life flow more smoothly and provided you with a confidence in your abilities and direction.